I go by they, them pronouns, and I'm officially 9 days pre-op of top surgery. Like, I'm going to have top surgery in 9 days. So, I just want to talk a little bit about how I'm feeling. In my last video about top surgery, I talked a little bit about that and how I was feeling like a sort of resentment because it's something I had to go through because it's, you know, it's surgery. It's not an easy thing, and it sucks that, you know, in order to feel okay in my body, I have to do that. It's also going to be the final step sort of in my medical transition, which is kind of intimidating because, you know, I'm still on hormones, so there'll still be changes from the hormones as time goes on, but like, that's the main thing. That's the thing that I've wanted from medical transition since the start. It's the thing that I've needed the most. So the fact that it's finally here is kind of like, whoa, as well. I've also been feeling a weird sort of gratitude. And I don't know, maybe like a gratitude or like, just like a weird sort of comfortableness with my current chest. And it's just like, because I know that it's going to be gone soon, and I'll be in my like real body, it's weird because it's like, you know, I'm more okay with the body that I have now. Obviously it's not all the time, but sometimes I'm just like, it's not like I'm not dysphoric about it. It still doesn't feel like it's part of my body, but it's just like it feels more okay and I feel more connected with it in a weird way. It's hard to describe, but like, I guess I'm more okay with it and more like, you know, it's not me, but like it's there, you know, it's just something there, and like, we've been through a lot together, so like, goodbye, friend. What dysphoria is, right, for me at least, just like dysphoric, but I'm not actually mad at my body, and I don't like think my body is unattractive or makes me less like trans or makes me less agender. It's just like, you know, not right. So I don't know, I'm feeling really weird, but it's like a weird connection. Another thing I want to talk about is that, like, saying that, you know, my chest, I feel more connected to it or whatever, it makes me feel like people are going to be like, oh, you're going to regret surgery. And that's something I've had a weird fear about too. And like, people don't really talk about that, about fear of regretting stuff. And the thing is, it was like, I personally don't feel like I will ever regret it. And like, when I feel like I'm afraid of regretting it, I, you know, think about like why, and there's no logical reason. So it's just one of those fears that it's like, there's no real sense to it. And I think why I'm afraid is mostly just because other people are afraid. It's not like I'm trying to be something. It's just that that's just what feels right for me. And like, I've wanted this for so long, and it feels so right to me when I picture myself with a flat chest. It's just like, I think this fear from like other people, and I think at this point too, I'm just looking for things to kind of be anxious about. My fear of regretting it is as realistic as my fear that I have about, like, let's say, you know, suddenly the building catching on fire while I'm having surgery. Like, it's not likely, right? Like, you know, it'd suck, but it's not something that's gonna happen. Mainly though, my two emotions that I've been feeling around surgery right now are like, I feel like intense excitement and like a relief where I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be in a body that feels right, and I'm just gonna be able to do all these things, and I'm gonna be able to have top surgery. I've been looking forward to this for so long, and it's finally here, and I've worked so hard to get here, and it's just so exciting. And so I have that feeling, and then I have like, I'm freaking out, and like a feeling of like intense anxiety. And I really wasn't expecting the anxiety. Like, I was expecting to be anxious, but I wasn't expecting to be this anxious. And it's because it's a major surgery, right? Like, I've never been under the knife, like I've never had surgery. So some of my fears around surgery is that like the anesthetic won't work and I'll feel pain, or like I'll wake up, and I'm also afraid that, you know, I'll be in a lot of pain after surgery. I'm afraid of like feeling guilty for asking people to do things. Like, it's a small, like, it's something that doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but like, I am just like, I don't want to feel guilty. I'm afraid of having like messed up results. I'm afraid of dying on the table. Like, it's something that's rare, but it's something that has happened. And, you know, it's like, it's unrealistic, but again, like, all of these things could happen. And I just need to really just stay in the moment and keep going and not really focus on those things, and more focus on the excitement. I'm also have been really feeling anxious because, like, I'm anxious and I'm like, it's gonna mess up my body chemistry and then it's gonna mess up my surgery. Like, you know, and it's harder to calm down because it's such a big deal in my life. I'm also like really scared of post-op depression because, you know, the way that, like, there's a really high chance of getting post-op depression with this surgery because, you know, there are glands in your tissue in your chest that help regulate hormones. And so it's taking that all away, as well as just the trauma on your body from surgery. It makes it so you're very likely to experience post-op depression, especially if you have, like, if you have depression, it's, you know, going to get worse, or if you, like, have experience with depression. And so, so, you know, it's like, I am a little scared. I do have a lot of support systems I'm setting up in place, to prepare for that. I'm going to make a video about things I'm doing to prepare for surgery, so I'll talk about that in that video, but it's something that kind of scares me. Like, okay, here's the thing. With recovery, I'm going to be stuck in bed for days at a time, and like not really doing much, not really having any responsibilities, staying in the same place, and staying in my house. And this is something that can really cause issues with my depression. So I'm just really scared of that. But I do have things in place to prevent myself from getting into a darker place in my mind, and just making sure that, like, you know, I want to have things set up that I'm doing something every day, and I have, like, even just like a small thing, or I'm making sure that I am, you know, talking to people and not isolating myself. And so I'm planning for that because I'm aware of something that's going to happen. I think I can be more prepared for it. I just really want to focus on, you know, self-compassion and mindfulness during my surgery, like during my recovery period, and just making sure I'm taking care of myself. So overall, right now, I'm just experiencing a lot of different emotions. So many emotions, all of the emotions. But just mostly experiencing a lot of excitement and happiness that this is happening. I've been waiting so long for this. Like, it's unbelievable, but like in a good way. And I'm so happy and excited for freedom and like all these things. Like, woo! And feeling like a lot of intense anxiety. But like, you know, working through it and just focusing on other things right now. Like, I think it's important for me focusing on both preparing, but also just on what's happening in my life and other people's lives, and just not focusing so much on my surgery, because I think that that's how I get into those places where I'm really anxious. But right now, I'm excited, so excited, it's gonna happen, and it's just, it does feel a bit surreal, but like so great. And yeah, so anyways, that's what's happening in my life. Yeah, anyways, have a great day. Bye.